if we can help our players get great footwork, which I think we can do, I think we can get them to where we're not going to necessarily make them quicker in their fast twitch, obviously, in their fast twitch fibers or anything like that, but I think we can help them become quicker because we can help them become more efficient. Okay? The other thing that's really critical is we can improve their balance. And I think it's the most important aspect of this is we have to have good balance, because if we don't have, we can't go anywhere until we attain balance. So we're going to do some things today that are going to get the kids off balance and then try to get them back on balance and go into the next action. Okay? So why good footwork? Well, just a couple of things that, and there's so many more aspects to this, but just a couple of things. We'll reduce the number of turnovers because they have the ability to play on balance. Okay? They're better prepared to play against pressure defense. Okay? We've all seen young kids when they first start playing the game and somebody starts to crowd them and trying to get the basketball, and what they do is they tend to go back into here, and they haven't really learned how to pivot and make effective use of their pivots. More patient in the post, okay? Because they've got solutions. Okay? They can figure out a way to get to the basket or get the ball out of the post. They have the ability to create passing lanes, okay, with good footwork. Have the ability to be more effective one-on-one players, can finish in a variety of ways, and move quickly and efficiently into their shot. So what we want to try to do is, through all the footwork stuff, we believe we're going to help them become better athletes. And if you want to have better basketball players, have good athletes. So we're trying to work on their ABCs, their agility, balance, coordination, and speed. They're going to become more agile, I think, if you do some of the things that we do today. They're certainly going to become more balanced. They're going to become more coordinated, which these guys are kind of their window of opportunity to supremely develop their coordination. It's kind of the 8 to 12 years of age window. They're beyond that right now, but we can still improve their coordination. Okay? And so that we're going to do where we put them off balance, all those things, balance is an aspect of coordination, will improve because of it. And so what we want to try to do is we want to try to give them a huge toolbox. Okay? Throw as many things at them from a footwork standpoint, and when the time comes, they can pull it out of their toolbox. You know, you watch young kids play, and you practice these things, and you practice, and you never see them, and then all of a sudden, it comes out. And that's simply because you've spent time doing it. It doesn't all come to fruition at one time. Well, we practice that. And you got to practice it again and again and again. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It takes a long time. And those of you that have been in coaching for a long period of time, you understand that. But it takes a long time. But even, you know, watching the kids today, we worked with these guys last night. And some of the things that we're going to do today, we did with them yesterday. And we know we're going to see much improvement, okay, just in one day. Okay, so what is footwork? Well, first off, the ability to stop. Okay, 2-foot stops, 1-2 stops. Okay, those are critical, obviously. Okay, a reverse jump stop, my ability to go and turn and land in different positions. So I have to have the ability to turn because I'm dribbling into the post and all of a sudden there's somebody there and I can't create anything else. I've got to have this ability to be, maybe I can fake from this position right here and kick the ball out. But the reverse jump stop is something that we may not do a lot of, but I think it's something that we should do. The ability to start. Whether I strong side start, which to me is same hand, same foot, or I cross over. We have to have that ability to do that. Pivoting. Front pivot, where we take our foot forward. Reverse or back pivot, where I take my foot back. And combinations of those. If you're going to be an effective post player, you have to have the ability to combine reverse and front pivots. Okay? Plyo step. And we'll use this in quite a few things that we're doing, especially with the dribbling. I cannot generate force to go that way unless I get my foot behind my hips. So this plyo step, or if I want to go laterally, that plyo step is critical to developing speed. And if you want an article that says, because we used to do this, well, that's a false step. You're going the wrong direction. And I've got an article that'll refute that, and I learned this several years ago about the idea of the plyo step, and we now incorporate it in many of the things that we do. Crossover steps, just this ability to go where defensively I've got to use it all the time, and offensively I'm going to use this significant amount of time when I'm making moves. Stutter steps, coming down and getting my feet going so that I'm setting up to do the next action. Okay? Split steps, I could be catching the ball and getting my feet apart where I get that plyo step action going. I could be dribbling, and as I'm coming down the floor, I split and I go. Scissor steps, may get to it with these kids, but just this idea where I'm going and I quickly switch my feet to be able to change direction or to be able to go straight ahead. Hip turns, all the time defensively. We're guarding, and now the offensive player goes in one direction on me. I've got a hip turn and go. We'll talk about that as far as swing steps and all. Skipping and galloping. Use it significant amount of times when we're dribbling the basketball. So those are the things that we're going to kind of cover on this. So I'm going to break it into 5 areas: stopping, starting, pivoting, finishing and post footwork, dribbling footwork, shooting footwork, and defensive footwork. So we got 2 hours, and hopefully we're going to get it all done.
I'm going to push him, keep him on track. But he did forget something. We have a saying, and I think stole it from John Wooden, and your feet put your hands in position to make a play. And so trying to get kids, it's not always the sexiest stuff to work on, but kids have to do it. And you may not have all the time in your practice, but trying to find a little piece of time here and there to put in some footwork, but also for them to work on their own, individually. Give them some things. That's what we tried to give them last night, some things they could take and work on their own.
Okay, so guys, with a partner, we'll come on this side, the volleyball sideline, right here. Okay. One in front of the other, so spread down, go down towards Allison. We'll face that way. Okay, so this is one we just call stop, starts, and turns. Very, very basic. I think it's good for young kids. If I was working with kids this age, I probably wouldn't do this a heck of a lot, but if I was working with kids a little bit younger, I would use this quite a bit. Okay, so you're with a partner. We're one behind the other, stack that way. So now all we want you to do is we want you to dribble out, 2-foot stop, front pivot back, pass the ball back to your partner. After you pass it, run by your partner on the right side. Now, when you catch the ball, every time we catch the ball, we go ball in the air, feet in the air. I want to land on a 2-foot stop in this case. We are kind of believers of we never really want to catch the ball, and you know what never means? That means most of the time. We don't want to catch the ball with 2 feet on the floor. We want to catch the ball with both feet in the air or 1 foot in the air. Okay? Just so we can use the stretch shortening cycle so we can be a little bit more explosive, a little bit more dynamic. So guys, dribble out to here, 2-foot stop, front pivot, back to your partner, run by him. Partner comes out, does the same thing. Good. And stop. Perfect. Stop. Now, what we would do is, every time they come out, they're coming out with a different hand. They front pivot one time, reverse pivot the next time. Okay, so we're constantly changing that. So do that a couple of times now. So you're going out, first time front pivot, second time reverse pivot. Good. Okay, so the next progression, come on back and start again. The next progression, now we add a little bit of a read to it, and we now start to do something a little bit different with our starts. Okay, so we dribble out, 2-foot stop. So for guys with the ball, go and do that. Pivot, pass back to your partner. Okay, now, stay. Okay, now you close out on your partner, but it's a bad closeout. Okay? We close out and we put one arm up or the other arm up, and you have to drive underneath that arm, shoulder to hip. Okay? 2-foot stop, pass back to your partner.
Off a crossover step.
Off a crossover, sorry, yes, off a crossover step. Okay, go ahead. One arm, just one arm. Yep, one arm.
I still think they can make a decent closeout and get an arm up. Mike's saying bad closeout because the arm, so make a decent closeout. Chop your steps. Good. Get your butt down.
Good. Okay. Good. Thanks, guys. Any questions about that? Very basic. Okay, very basic. We work on very fundamental things. Okay, now, next thing we're going to do, Holger Gershwinder, Dirk Nowitzki's coach for many years, I guess, and still works with him. On the FIBA site, this is his video, and we stole this from probably about 5 or 6 years ago now, it seems like. And we've done this just about all the time, and it's a series of drills where we try to get the players to get off balance and then get back on balance.
Not yet.
And we'll show you how they get off balance, and we'll talk about the balance aspect as we go through this. Okay, so the guys are at each end. Remember this from last night? So come back. Line behind me.
Yep.
Line behind Allison down there. So, yeah, well, but we're not going 360 first. Okay, so we come out, we toss the ball to ourselves, 2-foot stop. Then we reverse pivot, and we go in for a layup. Okay, simple as that. Next time they go through, they'll go with their other hand. Go ahead, guys. So what we're trying to, very simply, is just working on the footwork of a reverse pivot. And what we want on the reverse pivot is to try to keep the ball close to our body and trying to go as quick as we can. Good. Okay, so just stop for a sec, guys. So on our reverse pivot, I'll try to come out here. What we want to avoid is turning on the whole of our foot. We want to try to turn on the ball of our foot, so we're a little bit quicker. Now, the challenge is, can you still maintain your balance while you're doing that? Okay, but we want to be on the ball of the foot. The next thing we want is, we want them to try to go as tight and as straight a line as they can go, rather than going out here. Okay, so again, that becomes a bit of a challenge for them. So that's the first step in this. Okay, now the next one is where we really start to throw them off balance. They're now going to toss the ball, 2-foot stop, do a full 360 and land right where they were. Then they go into what we just did. Reverse pivot, go in for a layup. So we're throwing them off balance, they got to regain their balance, and then go right into the next action. Okay?
Keep
Go ahead,
the ball
guys.
in. Keep the ball in tight.
Yeah.
You can spin quicker, more quickly. Full front, nice balance, good. No travels,
Good.
all the way around on your full front,
Adam, is there a water line?
all the way, good.
Whoop. And you'll see that the first little while is you're going to see kids that are going to start and they're going to go a reverse 360. Thank you. They'll go a reverse 360. We want them to do a full front pivot all the way around.
Nice.
Okay, stop for a sec, guys. Are you better at this today than you were yesterday? Yeah, way better. Okay, way better. Okay, so now the next one is, we're going to go 2-foot stop, 360, whoa, balance. Okay, then what we do is we fake and we come back. When we do this, we want a half turn, the weight gets to our push foot, and then we go to our pivot foot. So the weight has to transfer so that we're not traveling. Okay, we want to push off this pivot foot, but we don't want to be pushing here. We want to push towards the pivot foot, so we're moving and we're, again, not traveling. Okay, guys? So half and then go.
Full front, half reverse, and then go.
Yep. half,
Full front.
go.
Half, go. Get shoulder to hip when you go, get low. Got to get in your squat. Get your butts down, hips back.
So you can see there's lots of travels. That's the way, Matt. That's good. But this, when they're doing this half pivot, they have to be able to control their body. Okay, you're going to see,
Nice.
you'll see a number of the kids right now where they're going and they're doing the half and they're going too far. And then you'll see half where they're going just part way. We want them to get to that half so they start to get the body awareness. Where am I in space? Where do I stop? I want to stop exactly in that position.
Well done.
Good. Okay, hold it, guys. Hold it. Oh. So again, you know, for Allison and I, we're watching the guys today going, this is a way better than yesterday. And that's not with that much practice. And why is it better? Obviously because of repetition, but I think all of a sudden, very quickly, they're starting to get a feel for where am I in space? Where is this foot going to? Okay? And we've had a few kids. And what I would say to all these guys right now is, I want you to go faster. Go faster. Go faster. Keep on challenging yourself to do it a little bit quicker, a little bit faster. Okay, last one we do is 2-foot stop, full 360 again, and then we take it, we sweep, and we go. And our sweep, we want it across the shoe tops so that it gets below the knees. Okay, we talk about going across the shoe tops, it never does, but we're hoping that we're going to avoid going across the waist. Okay, we want to get it to go down low. Okay, okay, go guys.
So one of the things we talked to young kids
Yep.
about is the forbidden zone. So I don't know.
Go ahead, guys.
Across here, down here,
Go
I
ahead.
see. So try to keep it out of the forbidden zone because they want to hold it
How about
here.
Loda?
And it's just like a gift to someone. So we can take it over top or underneath
cross
the
over and
forbidden
go.
zone. So they kind of get
Crossover?
that.
Yep, good.
We don't want to have the ball there. Sweep it lower.
So you can see right now, they're starting to go across their waist.
All the
Matt,
way
get it
around.
low.
Yeah,
Attaboy.
good sweep. Good. That's a reverse pivot. That was a good sweep, though. Full front,
Good, Loda.
sweep.
Good. That's right. Avoid the charge.
Woo! Sweep, good. Really push off that back foot. Be explosive. I think try to encourage some creativity in their finishes, especially when there's no D there. But you can load this drill by having a coach there or bothering them on their layups.
Okay, stop for a sec, guys. Okay, so now we want to add aspect of coordination to this, and we'll do it off this one. Okay, so you're going to do exactly the same thing, but all I want you to do is one of two things. You're either going to take the ball behind your back and lay it up, or you're going to come and you're going to fake a pass, and when you fake the pass, you look where you're going and then make the layup. Either one of those. You either take it behind your back, or you fake a pass. So it's exactly the same thing off the crossover. Okay, go ahead.
It's exactly the
So
same.
all we're doing now is
You're-
adding an
you're right.
aspect of
You
coordination.
Fake it on the first step.
Okay, sweep.
Good.
Yep, go. Okay.
If you if in your practice you only had 2 hoops and you had a lot of guys, we're just doing this for demo purposes, or girls, you could go on the sides. You don't have to go from the top. You can go from the sides and then have 2 groups going, just making sure they're avoiding each other. There are 10 people on the court in a game, so they should learn to avoid each other. But kind of maximize your reps. If you have lots of hoops, use them all.
Good. Okay, good. Good, guys. Thank you. Okay, so again, that's the Holger series, we call it, just because we stole it and kind of go. I think I came up with one original idea in 40 years of coaching. Okay, everything is stolen. Okay? I think Gil said it this morning too. That's what we do. Go take the best from people. And I'll say this. I think this is one of the best things that we've started to do in the last few years working with young kids. Okay? I think it is absolutely phenomenal stuff. It really, we had one young woman we worked with who went from not being able to do this at all to being ultimately quick in doing it, and I think we both think her footwork improved so much, and I think this is one of the things, one of the reasons why. Is there any questions about any of that? Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. So pair up, guys. We're going to do the space pivots. Pair up, one ball between the two of you. Find a little bit of space on the floor. Actually, sorry. Keep your basketball for right now.
If you don't have one, pretend.
Yeah.
Right
okay.
now.
So this is what we call a space pivot.
So
I am getting pressured. Okay. So I've got the basketball and I'm being pressured right here, and I don't really have a solution. Okay. And for young kids, the solution is always step back, okay, and look away. Well, what we need to do is we need to create space. So what we do is we take the basketball over top and we step between the defender's feet as I lean my shoulder, get my weight on my front foot, and then I sweep. And now I've created space. And we do this aggressively. This elbow comes up hard, so it's over there, and I'm now low, and I sweep it low, and I'm staying in this position. We don't want to come up, okay? And we never take our free foot behind our pivot foot, because the defense will just get right back into us. So we stay in this position right here, and now I'm ready to play.
You're in attack mode there.
I can pass from this position, I can play one-on-one from this position. So how we teach this is, so everybody grab a ball, find a little bit of space.
Or
if there's
pretend.
not enough ball, yeah, grab a ball, guys. Good, okay, hold the balls.
Yeah, we're going to not have a partner now grab a ball.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay, so balls on the right hip.
Quick.
Take it over top. Ball's now on your left hip. Sweep. Over top. Sweep.
Like that.
Okay?
Yeah.
And you can see right now, even when there's no defense, we still have guys sweeping across their waist. We want to get the ball down low. Okay, now, not a believer in a permanent pivot foot. Okay? Believe you should train both feet. So now we do this, well, let me talk about that. A couple simple reasons. One is, I can't imagine being a post player and only using one pivot foot. Right? You're going to get into situations where, all of a sudden I landed and I'm on an outside-inside finish and my other foot is my pivot foot. Understanding that the majority of the time, if you're playing on the perimeter, you're probably going to use your strong legs. So right-handers are usually going to use their left foot as their pivot foot. But if we train both, when the time comes that they need the other one or they're on the other one, they can still play. Okay? So we train both. So now we're going to do the same thing, but use your right foot as your pivot foot, or use the other foot as your pivot foot. So ball's on the other hip. Take the basketball over top. And lean and, right, good. Okay, so exactly the same thing. Now, we want to have the ability that if I am not very strong and the person that is really pressuring me is much stronger and I can't sweep the ball, that what I do now is here and I full front pivot around and I'm now ready to play. I can pass the ball to the other side or I could play. So I take the basketball over top from here, and I recognize I've got space on that side, and I full front pivot. Okay, so again, over top, and full front pivot back to here. Okay, so take it over top, guys. Stay low.
Keep your hips down.
Full front. When we go on the full front, get the ball outside that knee. So when you take it to here, get it outside into that position. Never in the forbidden zone. Keep it out here.
Oftentimes talk about if you get double teamed, we talk about take the double team low. And this is really important to be able to play down here, to play low with your pivot. A lot of kids' solution also to pressure is to just dribble more, right? So we have to give them, I see people smiling, yeah, dribble. But we have to give them a solution to how do I handle pressure if I still have my dribble or if I've picked up my dribble.
Good. Okay, so now guys, pair up. One ball between the two of you. So now we do the same thing with pressure, with defense, so we're reacting to the defense.
Probably don't need a lot
No. Yeah.
We'll be here all
Okay, so defense gets into him.
Yep. Quick, get up into
Yep.
him. Get in stance. Defense,
Okay,
get in stance.
go
Yep.
ahead, guys.
Protect
Space
your
for it.
face. Make sure you move your nose out of there.
Pressure him, pressure him. Good.
Okay, get a little bit physical now. Maybe slap in there a bit.
Okay, stop for a second. Stop
Good.
for a second.
Good.
So one of the things that's very common, and Matt, you're guilty of this right now, when we take the ball over top and now we come back, don't bring the ball back up. You're allowing now the defender to get back into your space, and every time that we go here, we straighten up so that when we want to go, we have to go down. So we stay down here. Okay, we're always playing in that position. Okay, unless you go, oh, I can pass it in right now. Otherwise, stay low. Okay, stay low. Okay, now we take this to one-on-one.
We don't have to do it. Do you just show it quick?
Yeah, okay.
I'm keeping you
So
on track.
we'll do one quick demo. Come on out, you two. You got the ball? Okay, pressure. So now we're playing at the basket.
No,
Go from
we're
the wing.
outside the 3. We're playing
Yeah.
at this hoop one-on-one. Yeah.
Okay, so now just go over top for a second. Take it over
Spaceman.
top. If, as you are taking the ball over top, you recognize, let me play defense for just a second, you recognize that foot is not moving, okay, and that foot is not cutting you off, you're gone. If we take the basketball over top, and now we're pressuring, sweep it, and right from there we're playing one-on-one. So we could go or he could cross over. So we take that into a one-on-one game. We have to give the players an opportunity to be able to take this into game situations. Okay? So one-on-one out of this is one of the best ways to do it. Okay? Good enough, Al? Okay, so now we do one we call crossover. This is, again, to work on our footwork with the ability to start with a crossover step. I'll talk a little bit about starts later on, but we'll go through the basic footwork of it. So we'll do it down here just as a demo. So we'll get about 5 guys in line. Okay, so what happens is the coach has 2 basketballs. She's going to drop one of them.
You guys are too big. Move.
The player now from this position right here, if this basketball is dropped, goes immediately into a crossover step, brings the other foot up, sweeps the ball, and goes on a crossover step going the other way. So we call it crossover. So the coach, as they drop the ball, moves over and shows your cutoff, go the other way. And we work on our sweeps, we work on shoulder to hip, and we work on our footwork.
Tight. Go by me tight. Yes,
See-
there you go. Boom.
Good.
Really push off that outside foot. Sweet.
Good. Okay, so hold it for a sec, guys. So now we go and we vary it up. Coach can drop the basketball and not move. So when you go and there's no movement, you just continue on and get the ball to the floor quickly and again go in for a layup. Okay? So she doesn't move. So we have to have the ability that as we are stepping is to read that defender. Okay? And recognize where are they. Okay, they're not there, I keep going. So the coach changes it all the time.
Oh, good. Sometimes they're just quicker than you.
Good. Okay. Stop. Okay. You guys get out because you've had the fun. You guys get in. We'll use about 5 of you. Okay, the one that we did.
Go down there and play D.
Okay, 2 guys underneath that are going to start with defense.
See? I got you.
So we're going to assume that players can get by theirs. And when they start to become good offensive players, they recognize on the catch, close out, I attack, I can get by mine. But now my ability to see the next defender, the help defender, and then later the third defender. Okay, so on this one now what's going to happen is when the coach drops the ball, the moment that the ball is dropped, the second defender comes out and plays. Okay? Our rule is, guys, what don't we give up?
What can't you do?
What?
Can't shoot.
Get to the hoop. And don't give up a jump shot. Okay? Get out there and guard them. Okay?
No, you should be attacking. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
So later we're going to talk about finishing, and so this is another opportunity. When they get more finishing solutions, they'll get opportunities to practice that. So I want to try to eliminate, you get one change of direction. There's
Nice.
not multiple changes of directions because this is a one-on-one game within a 5-on-5 game. So we start the defender underneath the basket. The moment that the ball is dropped, they come out. And they get double teamed sometimes.
Ooh, way to use your body. Good job. Yes.
Good.
Oh. Nice spin. Double pivot.
Good
footwork.
spin, but the other players are going to be involved.
Nice.
Good. Okay, that's good. Rats.
Yeah.
Any questions on that? Crossover is what we call it.
So-
Again,
Yeah.
go ahead.
This can be done individually.
Yes.
So they can, come on out here with the basketball. So you and I are just out here on the court, so I'm just going to drop to myself, crossover, and go. You're going to do it, yeah. Did that go with the right foot? Yeah, you did. Crossover, yeah. So you can do it all over the court by yourselves. You don't need, if you're at practice and it's only you can't do that because you got a big long line, then they can be doing it for themselves. So we're working on footwork leading up to it, because lots of times we start from a stationary, but we very rarely in the game start from a stationary, right? We're catching it, or we're crossing over, we're coming in for a shot, and then we go, so they can practice that on their own.
Okay. Now, probably the most common, and we talked at the beginning just about being efficient with your footwork, the most common thing, and some of the guys were doing this yesterday, and I didn't watch all of them, but I think most of them have started to eliminate this. The first step that they often make is, oh, the ball's dropped there, and I take that step, and then I go. We need to be efficient. Okay? The moment that that ball is dropped, I need to get into that crossover step right away. Okay? And again, that's just an example of being a little bit more efficient that's going to make us a little bit quicker. Even though nothing has changed in their muscles, they're just doing the right thing, okay, to make them more efficient. Okay, I think you guys call it V-cut shooting. Yeah, okay, V-cut shooting. Let's go at both ends, okay? See if they set it up the way that we set it up. Quick, guys.
Quick. Okay, stop.
Oh.
Everybody come back into the little where we just were. Quick.
Hurry.
This is my thing at practice. V-cut shooting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because then there's usually a consequence, not a big one, but...
So it's, yeah, good. Different than, yes, good. Get over on that side.
Then they were nervous.
There we go. Oh, now I remember it. Okay, good. Okay, now, this is one, just use it as, if you do, you run layup lines or something at the start of practice, you may want to add this aspect to it. If you do this drill, it's another good thing to do. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start, and we're not, for the sake of what we're trying to accomplish, we're not going to V-cut or anything. We're just going to blast to the top of the key. And what we want to do on this is we want perfect timing. The ball and the player arrive at this spot at the same time, and it's a perfect pass right to here. Okay? When I come and catch the ball, I want to catch it on my inside foot to a 1-2 stop. Okay? And what I'm going to do is there, over top, and then I'm going to pivot. Very similar to what we've already done. And then we go in for a layup. Okay? Yeah, Chris going through it in his mind. He's got it. Okay. So again, guys, catch it on the we didn't do this with them yesterday. We catch it on the inside foot, square up, take it over top like I'm starting, but I recognize the defender is cutting me off. And I front pivot all the way around. And look at the height. There is no changing height. Where it's gone. Okay, go ahead. Yep. Good.
Let's get out to space a bit more, outside 3. Break outside 3.
Yeah. Over top. Take it over.
Count it.
Take it over top. Good. Reverse. Yep.
Break outside 3.
Over top.
Catch it outside 3. Yeah.
Over.
Yeah.
Start here.
All the way around?
Right?
Yeah.
Now take it over. No.
Excellent.
This way. Right. Now, then you go that way.
Good. I like when you get yourself off balance and then you have to get back on balance.
See,
Good.
good
Nice.
athletes.
Way to keep your head low.
These kids are
Yes.
good athletes, but this is a bit of a challenge for them.
Good job. Yeah, you got it. With a smile.
Over top. Okay, stop. Okay, start your space pivot. Okay, as I do my space pivot, oh, defense is cutting me off, I go. Okay, couple more times.
There you go, yeah.
Oh, is it? Sorry.
Space pivot, get them off you. Right, go, good. So come in with your inside foot and then go over top.
Good, okay.
Over top, spin. Inside foot,
Oops.
other foot. That's
Okay,
it.
stop, guys.
We'll work on that one.
Good. So, again, you know, this is going to take a little bit of time, but pretty good. Okay, Allison?
Yeah, just one of my pet peeves in all drills that we do, we tell them to stay spaced and then they start looking like this. So I would say you've got to get out a little wider, got to get out, go wider, out, no, this way too. We need horizontal and vertical spacing. Use the court. This looks like a university team. That looks like 15-year-olds. We can be better. So now we have to make hard cuts come up. You got to bring the ball up, maybe pass it a little further. Depends on your kids. If they can't pass it that far, bring it in a bit. But we should be having proper spacing in all the shooting drills, everything we do. We can't allow poor spacing.
Okay, now, can we move those lines up to the top of the key extended? Just to the top of the key extended, not much further. So just slide up just a little bit. Okay, now, different ways to catch the ball. So we've caught it on 2 foot when we tossed it out. Okay, now we caught it, went 1, 2, and then went into something. Now what we're going to do is we're going to skip on the catch. I'm going to come across, and I'm going to go to a skip. And what I'm going to try to do on this, and what ends up happening is, it looks like it's slowing down, and then I land, and I change pace on it. Okay? So I skip when I'm catching. So as I'm coming across to catch the ball, that's the action.
And this
Okay.
is can you go back, Mike?
Yeah.
It's a little read. You got it. This is, obviously we did the inside-outside defense was tight, so we did that. Now you're coming?
Yep.
Yeah. And now the defense is kind of here, and they're a little bit flat, and he sees an opening. So we're reading on the catch or before we catch. All of those, that's what we kind of have to teach, reading on the catch. And you can add a guided defender. You can load all these drills with guided defenders. So inside foot skip.
Okay, go ahead and give it a try, guys. Again, we haven't done this with them.
Yeah.
Not
Oh,
bad.
they've done it, though. Very good.
Yep.
So ball in the air, feet in the air. Try to go inside foot.
Not unusual. Initially, they'll skip on whichever foot. We want to skip on the inside foot. So there was an outside. There was a late one.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go, Loda.
We got to time it. Try to time
Okay,
it.
stop. Stop, guys.
Yes, good.
Okay, pretty good. So again, we want to skip on the inside foot. So if I was at this basket right here, I am skipping on that foot. And now here's where you start to get your plyo step coming into play. When I come and I do this skip, I don't want to land with my foot behind my, or below my hips. I need them to land with my foot behind my hips so that I can generate force into the floor in that direction so I can go that way. Okay, and that's what we're trying to do on this. Okay, now what I want you to do is,
We want to be consistent with our footwork that we're teaching too. So if I'm coming in here to get, no, don't pass it. I won't even be able to catch that. You'll blow me right over. Probably we want to come in and we were going to go 1, 2 into our shot. So we want to make sure we're looking like that might happen, or that might happen, or I might go, or I might, oh, Euro start. So trying to be consistent so that we're deceptive.
okay. Okay, so now what we want to do is, oh, I skipped and I've gone. Now I want to be adding footwork to it and adding deception to it. I want to skip and stop and cross over. Okay, so it makes it look like we're starting to go, and then I immediately stop. Who is in the top 95th percentile in their ability to stop?
In the NBA, who was it?
James Harden. Okay, 50th percentile supposedly in first step, vertical jump. 95th percentile, I believe, our figures are probably a little bit off, on his ability to stop. We undervalue that. Okay, we need to be changing pace constantly in our game. Okay, I told the guys last night, I think you're better off being able to go from 50 miles an hour to 80 to 50 than you are from going from 90 to 100. Russell Westbrook may put me behind on that. Okay, I think he's about 120. But
Okay, let's do it.
yep. Okay.
Go ahead, do that.
Go guys. So he stops.
Skip. Yeah, stop. Good. Really try to get your skip in.
Make the skip like you're going. Make the skip like you're going.
Yeah, there you go. Better.
Okay, stop, 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 stop.
Oh, that was good.
Okay, you have to make this part, guys, like you're going. And then stop. Start and stop. Okay, a couple more times.
Little airborne. Yeah, there you go. Good.
Adam and Ivan.
Ah, very good.
Good. That's the way. Good, Matt. Skip.
You're seeing very few travels on this. It's pretty good.
Yes.
Ah, and then go into
Skip.
your pull-up. That's nice.
Good. Good. Okay. Well done. Okay, guys.
Good.
Hold it. Okay. Just relax for a few minutes. Maybe grab a seat.
Oh,
Okay, grab a
everybody's
seat.
sitting over there.
But you need to pay attention because this is something that we haven't done and this is a little bit confusing. So in our years with the national team, we had our players, many players played overseas, and most of the time it was in Europe. And they would come back and throw me the basketball for a sec. And it was talked about yesterday in the referee session.
Is Adam here?
No,
Oh,
that's all right. Sorry, we don't have I have video to show this, but.
it's okay. Maybe
So
later.
what we would do is, again, what I call the strong side drive, where catch it and we go same hand, same foot, lead this way. Well, I mean, I probably have 25 video clips of this action. 25 out of 25 were travels. Okay? They're all from North America. So our players would come back and say, we can't do that. So we would come in and we'd practice, rocker steps and go, and they'd say, we can't do that. Okay? It's a travel every time. So what we started to do is watch a little bit of film and watch what the Europeans were doing.
And what our players were coming back to.
And what our players were coming back with. And over the last probably 5 years, you're starting to see it at a little bit at the NC2A level, but all the time at the NBA level. And that is what we call a Euro start on the strong side. And what they do is, as soon as they catch the ball, they put the ball on the floor. So it's immediate. So there's no faking on it. It is just put the ball. So the ball and the foot land at the same time. So I catch it, and that ball and foot. And what I've basically done, and there's a great clip that I have of Chris Paul, it's an inside-out dribble in your hands. He puts his hand coming to this position right here so that the ball goes outside that foot, and now again I have defender, body, ball protected. Okay? So we just call it a Euro start, a strong side Euro start. Just that. Okay, so I catch the ball and I recognize I've got space to go in. So rather than catching and doing that, we put it on the floor right away. And I'm going, well, why are the NBA guys doing that? Because they don't get called on that. Why are they doing it? Probably because they get the ball on the floor quicker and they can go into the next action a little bit quicker. So now, guys, we're going to do that, and you're just going to do it in open space. So all I want you to do is this. Don't come up just yet. All I want you to do is catch it on a 1, 2, and put it on the floor, and then just go to a stop. Whoops. Is that a travel? No.
I don't think anything's a travel after seeing the video yesterday.
Okay, so that's all you're going to do. Does that make sense? Okay, so come on up and give that a try.
This is I would say, a fairly advanced skill. I don't think you're going to be teaching this to real young kids. Maybe the crossover footwork is easier, and then as they get a bit older, they might be able to be coordinated enough to do this.
One of the, we've been working with a young guy since he was in grade 8, a family friend.
Extend
And
more.
he's a great kid. He's an average athlete, but he's become a little bit quicker. He does this all the time. And I worked with a kid that's going to UBC this year, and he does this all the time and has no issues with it. And again, good athlete, not a great athlete, but he gets it on the floor right away and gets into his way. So we just call this a strong side Euro start. Okay, strong side Euro start. Okay, hold the ball, guys. Okay, now the confusing one. Okay, this is the one, and again, this is just a way of starting, and like Allison said, I don't think this is something that you're going to introduce at young levels, but I think I would do this with these guys at this age. Okay? So this is now, well, wait a minute, my left foot is my pivot foot, but my space is over there. So what we normally have done is a crossover move, which I'm certainly not opposed to. I think it's still probably the best move. Okay, just faking and coming, or catching and going. Well, now what you see lots of players doing is, as they catch the ball, they throw it. They put the ball on the floor as this foot is going. As the fake, they put it out of their hands, and then they can step with this foot, so there's no travel. Okay? So it's just this. They throw it across their body on the catch, and then they can go. Okay?
Yeah, try it.
Okay, try it, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Not sure, I haven't seen it. Yeah, but grab it with 2 hands when you catch
That's
it.
good.
Catch it with 2 hands.
One of the things
Throw
when
it. Yeah.
a couple of our
And now
national
get
team
your left
players
foot
came
going.
back from Europe,
So get your left foot going. So when you do this,
competing mics
and throw
came
it.
back from
Go.
Europe, they were doing it, and I was like, well, that's
Go.
ridiculous.
Okay,
That's going to get
so
stolen
throw it,
every
go.
time. And they're like, well, we don't do it when they're guarding us closely, coach. We do it when the person's closing out. I'm like, right. That makes
okay, hold the
sense.
ball, guys.
So it just makes sense that can be done, and you'll see it all the time, and we'll maybe get Adam to get the clips up later. But it's as the closeout's coming. The same with a skip. We don't just skip if there's defense close to us, right? So they have to understand when and why and how they use, or not how, we're teaching them how, but the when and why we use this. So that comes with experience, and then, but that's used when you're attacking closeout and you read, well, they're out of control closeout, and I can just go. I can put down
And again,
the
call them Euro starts simply because we've taken it from European players, and like I said, you're now starting to see it at the NC2A level, and you're starting to see it at, and I think you see it quite a bit at CIS level, especially with a lot of the guys. And again, probably not something for your kids that are just starting the game, but as they get older and you want to challenge them a little bit, I think it's good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go into some finishing. Okay, how do we finish and talk about footwork on it? So what we'll do, guys, come down, you guys down there, okay, on the right wing, So the first one that we're going to do is what we simply call an outside-inside finish. So I come in, as I'm driving, I want to jump and land with my outside foot first, my inside foot second. Now, well, why don't just go to a 2-foot stop? Well, if I'm going really fast, it's going to be hard to maintain my balance. I don't accept contact quite as well as if I'm here and take that contact, because now I've got this foot to brace me. If I'm on a 2-foot, I'm hopefully evenly balanced. So we can accept contact a little bit more. And I probably, when I'm going fast, it's a little bit easier to make sure I don't travel. Okay? So this is an outside-inside. So we drive, and what we want to do is on the finish, when we land on this, we want to be with our chest to the baseline on this one. We'll show you different ways in a sec. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
Outside, inside.
It's sometimes called a slide layup, and they should really be sliding across. Both those guys opened up, and they shouldn't open up.
Good.
Yeah, he did it right. Slide across the...
Good.
No, we're still opening. We should finish.
Good.
That's good. Slide.
Good.
That's pretty good too.
Jump off 2. Jump off 2 feet.
Nice.
Jump off 2.
Got to come
don't
off
lift
with
that
some
leg.
rhythm. Some rhythm.
So don't.
And let's go left side after that. Don't go right the whole time.
Good. Outside, inside. Good. That's the way.
Yeah, that's good.
Good. Okay. Stop. Stop, guys.
Nice.
Good. Hold the balls.
All right, good. Hold it there. Stop. You stay there.
You're all right. Stay there. And obviously we would go, like Allison's got him on, going on the other side. So now, when we land this way, now I have the ability, because this is my pivot foot, to create separation. I've landed here, the defense has stopped me, they've rotated over and they've stopped me. I can't get to the basket. So now I have the ability to pivot and create space. So what are my solutions out of this? Well, I can go and I can come to a turnaround. I can go and I can come and I can reverse pivot and go back. I can come in, I can land, I take defenses here, I can step, what we call a step, or a double pivot, okay, from this position, so the defender's there, and I've got space, and especially, I said this to a few of the guys last night, the bigger guys, this is one they need in their repertoire, okay, because they're going to be bodied up a lot of times, but they're going to be here rather than over here, so that's step, and go that way. And then the other one is just as simply, old, step through, and go.
Probably
Okay?
taking over time.
So let's go middle. So we're coming with our left hand, and we'll do a little rondo. Okay, we come in, outside, inside, fake. Come back to a jump hook or a step. Either one of those. Okay?
Really important to make sure that they're faking everything and slowing down. So when I come in, fake. When I come around, you guys can go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm talking to the coaches. Go do your thing.
Left hand dribble.
Shot fake, right? So that's a good fake. Get someone in there. It's a shot fake.
Go ahead. Yep. Good. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Step through.
Good.
Good.
Yeah, out of the way. Well done, Chris.
Nice. Step through.
Good. Yeah.
Nice.
Good.
That's
Good.
all right. Step. Good. Yeah. Ah, a little turnaround fade. Nice. Ooh. Well, everybody's just going to shoot over me, but
Okay, and stop.
nice.
Now, dribbling, Chris. Go to the stop. Good. Okay, pivot. Oh, I jammed you right here. Step. Okay, there's the situation. So come and do that again with a little bit of speed. Not too much. There, I jam them. Oh, I don't like that. Yes. Okay, so this is the one where we come in, and step by. Okay, and it is
I
that.
can show it in a bit.
Boom, I've come up here, raised the defense a little bit, and raising doesn't necessarily mean you get them off your feet. It means they straighten up. Okay, and then we step by. So now the step. Okay, go ahead. Good.
Yep. So that's crossover, so step same side. Step, there, step. Yeah, step. Yes, very good. Good.
Visualize
Right, yeah.
that defender.
Step. That's crossover. That's
Good.
okay though. Step, same side. But that's another one of them. Yeah, there you go. Good.
Ah, boy, Matt. Well done.
Yes. I like the patience on that. Yeah, good.
So probably with most of them, I would probably be encouraging them to get on the ball with their foot a little bit more. Okay, when I watched the last three guys, they're all on the hole of the foot, a little bit better there. Okay, get on the ball of your foot. And obviously we would go on both sides and work on it from both sides.
One of the things I was talking about in youth coaching is no laps, no lines, no lectures. So we wouldn't want long lines like this. We could be coming from all angles, but we just, for ease of purpose and you to watch one
Okay,
person.
hold the ball, guys.
Good footwork.
Okay, now, Chris, I'll use you again. Okay, so he's driving this way, and as a defender, I'm working very hard. I'm getting into a position where I start to cut him off. As they become better and better players, their vision gets better and better. He needs to see what's on each side of him when he first starts going. Okay, so right now he's recognizing in the game that there's no one over here. I've cut him off here, so what he does is, because he has no space, okay, he's not going to do a pro hop, he's going to spin. So go back and do that a little bit quicker. So we're coming here, and I get to where I cut him off, and he spins. And now, under the new traveling rules, we are, what it used to be is go, drop, layup. This foot couldn't come down, even though that wasn't called very often. But now you're legally allowed to, when you take this drop step, to bring the other foot down. So they can go off 1 foot or 2 foot. Okay, either one of those takeoffs is fine. Now, I would encourage to teach both. Okay, I would encourage you to teach both. And people will say, I don't like spins. And I'll tell, I don't know what you're going to do when the defense bodies up and you got space over there. Throw a shot over top of the defense when you can get a layup? I think it's crazy. I think you have to recognize, and the reason people don't like it is, boy, they can't see what's there. Then don't spin. Don't do it. But when your vision becomes good enough that you recognize what's on either side of you and you see space there, get into that space and get a layup. An uncontested layup or a layup going to the basket rather than a shot over top of somebody. Okay? So, go to this. Oh, sorry.
Both sides.
Yeah.
Both sides?
Yeah. So, half you guys come to this side.
Yeah, go. Spins.
Half of you over here.
No, left hand.
Okay,
left
and
hand.
just hold the ball for a sec, guys.
Drives.
Hold the ball. Hold the ball.
Middle drives.
Hold the
Yes,
ball.
Go right hand. Spin.
So just watch down
you
there.
go at the same time.
Both sides can go at the same time because they're not changing sides of the floor. So you guys basically go to each other at the bottom of the circle. So come right towards me. Yep. Spin. Good.
So those
Go.
are spin finishes. They
Don't
want
go through the middle.
Mike, hold on. Mike.
Good.
Mike, I'm going to work with the coaches.
Yeah,
So it's a spin finish. Pull it and pick it up. It's not a dribble. You can't dribble in that little traffic area. So spin, pull,
Good.
ball, body, defender, and then go up. Sometimes they leave it behind. They shouldn't.
good. Okay, and hold. Stop, guys. Okay, so, and just to reiterate the point because it's a very critical one. When we go into the spin dribble, we start to pull the ball. We don't grab it from here. We start to pull it to get it away from that defender that's cut us off. So I'm not going and starting by grabbing it here. And I'm not doing old school spin where I take it and I pick it up with the other hand. I start a spin dribble, I start to pull it, and then I'm grabbing it with the other hand. So again, it is defender, body, ball all the time. Okay? Anything there? Okay, so now we just add, we do exactly the same thing. We come in, but now we recognize I can't get into that space. So I come in and I fake it. And for right-handers, what I would say, especially to these guys, I'd say go to a jump hook on this side, and on this side over your other shoulder, you're coming in. Whoop, I fake here, and I go to a jumper, and I like a fadeaway. Okay, that's a personal preference. I don't care about going straight up and down. We shoot a fadeaway on that. Okay, so we're now faking that spin, grabbing it, and coming back. Okay, go ahead.
So that's the same as we just worked on. Go ahead. No, you guys are good. The Holger series. So now they're doing those half spins. So it's stuff that you're going to use in the game.
Good.
But we do it without the ball first so they can actually do it. And then they can come to all their step
Stay
finishes.
on your side of the floor. Stay on your side of the floor.
Nice. Nice fadeaway. Oh, nice jump hook. You're good. Yeah. That's it. That's good, yeah. So when you're coming left, then that's your fadeaway. Your fadeaway
no,
when you're
we'll
going left.
do it right at the end.
Right, so you go here.
Okay, hold the ball, guys.
Yeah. This.
Good. And Lola, can I use you? Can you go and do that? Yeah. Can you go in and do that? Watch his feet. So that was a heel pivot. Okay, that's a heel pivot. And it's not necessarily wrong. I just think you can be a little bit more efficient if you're on the ball of your foot. So see if you can try that. When you come in now, go with your left hand. Dribble in.
Left, yeah.
Take that drops. Take that fake. And now pivot on the ball of your foot. Coming back this way. Yep.
On this part of your foot.
Wow. That's all right. Coach, I think everybody will understand. So we just want to more pivot on the ball of the foot rather than the heel. Okay? Okay, everybody's got a basketball. Find a little bit of space. Find a little bit of space.
Going to work on that pro hop. So
Yeah.
face the coaches. Face the coaches and come in.
So now we're looking for a solution when I'm driving in and I see space over here and I have a little bit of space between me and the defender that's cutting me off. So now what we do is we do a pro hop. So I take the basketball and I'm going at my defender here, but I see space over there. I dribble and I turn my back to the defender in the air. Okay, in the air. So the way that we start teaching this, and again, I mean, I've done this with grades, the boys were grade 6 last year. Okay, I've done this with grade 6 boys. Now I'm not saying that they're doing it in games yet. Okay, but they can physically do this act. Okay, they can physically do it. So it's not something that's really out of the ordinary. So what we do is we start with the left foot in the air for the right-handers, and what we do is as this foot hits the ground, we dribble. We pound and we hop. So go ahead and do that, guys. Right. And you see where they're taking the ball? We're taking it across, over top, violently, not through the forbidden zone.
Woo.
And I like that. Loda, I like that. Okay, try it the other way now.
Good
Try
job.
it the other way. Good. Okay, so you guys at that end, guys down at this end, 2 lines, one on this side, one on that side.
Number 2 at
Quick,
the top.
guys, quick.
So line
Hey,
here.
we're behind me. Good.
got
You guys go
left
behind
hand
Chris.
here.
Come on up here.
Off right foot, right hand there.
Good. Okay. So now, just,
Right hand, left hand.
you know, for a little bit of organization, it's not necessarily the best way to do it, but just for a little bit of organization, and so that we know we're not going to run into each other, they're going to dribble with their inside hand. So if it's as if Chris come this way, he's dribbling with his inside hand, and he sees space there. So he dribbles and he hops. He does it better than that.
Off the right hand, left
Okay.
foot.
Right. And we go, and we're on that side and that side. Okay, go ahead, guys.
I like this one though because they have to turn their backs to each other, so there's some reference point when you're doing it on air. Yes, cover ground. Get into that space.
And I think legally now you could, I don't know this. Stop for a second, guys. Stop for a sec.
Hold the balls.
Hey, is there a referee here?
Yesterday they were here.
Yeah. So I wouldn't want them because I think you're now in danger, and I'm not sure under the new rules if this is. But when I take this pro hop right here, I want to jump off too. I don't want to do that. I'm not sure.
Except I was wondering, some of you might know that that might be the 0 step,
Yeah.
right? And then 1, 2. It was hard to tell yesterday. We said we're not going to teach to it till we see how it's reffed for a year at least. I don't want to teach to it and teach it wrong. So we'll see how they referee it, and then we might be able to teach to it.
We have an understanding here.
Ah.
That,
hard.
I guess my answer to that would be that I would be teaching always going off the inside. Yeah. And I would try to avoid coming off this back foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay,
don't think
so
it's
now
easy.
guys, just slide it down to the
Not
baseline.
easy to teach.
Same thing, slide it down to the baseline. So now what we're doing is, and this is again, just to give it different looks, different angles. So now, the defender has rotated over, their defender is recovering, but you see space into here. So I've come over to take the charge, and you're getting into that space. Right, okay? So we'll just do a couple of those. Okay, go ahead. Take it over top.
Nice.
Don't add the extra step. Jump off 2.
Good job covering ground.
Good. Okay, hold the ball. Hold the ball, guys. Okay, can I get you guys now to line up?
Yeah.
When I go in here, I would ideally like to do that. But I don't. Is it a travel? I think it's fine now. I think if we went outside, inside, I think it's fine.
Yeah, Mike. Oh.
Yeah. Theoretically, I think that's right. Yeah.
And what were you going to say? Yeah.
No,
That's
you can't
right.
hop.
Yeah,
You
that's
can't
why I
hop.
think with. Right.
Yeah.
But we were talking about if you came in here and did. I think that's legal now. Where we didn't, it wasn't before because this was that, so you had to land on 2. That's what we were always told in the pro hop. I think you can do that now. What some of them were doing, so I think you can do both. From what we saw yesterday.
Okay, we're not going to be able to get through everybody on this, but I just want to show you a way, because what we've done all the time now is dribble, okay, and dribbling into it. Now what we want to do, what if all of a sudden you get into a situation as you're cutting to the basket and you need this solution? So what you do is pass through the ball, circle the elbow, and come towards me. I give you a bounce pass, you take the dribble, and you pro hop to there. Okay, so it looks like this.
Inside hand.
Okay, so I'm coming around here, you've got it, just drop it, I take that and go. Okay, I would prefer that they take the 2-hand dribble here
Let's go on that side.
and take it violently across the face and turn. So again, it looks like this in slow motion, and there's my finish. So we're running up, we give the ball to the coach, we circle the elbow from the outside to the middle, we give them a bounce pass right in this area right here, and they execute that. Okay? Let's see if a couple of guys go.
Yep.
No, we'll just go on the one
Circle
side,
the
just to
elbow.
give the coaches.
Circle the
So
elbow,
circle the elbow, come towards me,
stop.
come towards me.
Don't stop running.
Dribble,
Yep.
right there, hard.
Yep. Run.
Right.
Run.
Go, Chris.
Dribble. Right. Good. Run.
Right,
run.
perfect.
Sorry, I gave that to you too early.
Circle the elbow,
Yes.
good. So they're not dribbling into it now.
Good.
Well, harder dribble and turn more now.
Oh, over that side.
Turn in
I
the
had a
air.
little game back in the day.
Good. Good. Okay, stop. Oh.
Good.
Okay, hold the ball.
Oh, sorry, we're into it.
Okay, so again, all we're trying to do is now this situation comes up very quickly. Okay, and they just take a quick dribble, so it's a little bit in the crowd. Okay, now we do exactly the same thing with the spin. So now they're coming in, and they're going to plant the inside foot as they come towards me, or the foot that's closest to the baseline. They catch it, and they go right to a spin without any dribble. Okay? So again, going from the outside to the inside. Come towards me, plant that foot.
Keep coming,
yep,
keep cutting.
good.
Yep. Keep cutting.
Plant that foot. I don't want to dribble. No dribble. No dribble.
Yeah, go out there, circle, and come. Yep.
No dribbles.
Yes. Oh, you're trying to no dribble it.
Yeah, no dribbles.
You're trying to not dribble it? Yeah, try to just be cutting
Good.
here, and then I'm going to pass it to you.
Good, okay.
Like that.
Hold the ball.
Keep going.
Hold the ball, Al.
Go. Keep running. Just
Al.
don't stop running. Yeah. Oh, try not to
yeah,
dribble if you
cheating.
can.
Okay, hold it, Al.
Yeah. We were discussing.
So you can do exactly the same thing, set up exactly the same way. You just change the angle on it, and now they come up and they circle the elbow to the outside, and they pro hop to the middle, or they spin to the middle. Okay, exactly the same thing. Just gives you a little bit of different angles on it so that they're coming at things, again, from different angles. Anything else?
Nope, Euro step.
Okay. For time, does everybody know Euro steps?
Probably not. Yeah, a lot of you.
Want me to do it? Okay. So a Euro step is simply this. And actually, Allison's quite convinced that this might be the way that she would teach kids when they're young how to do layups. So,
Along with regular layup.
yeah, along with regular. Matt, can you do it? Euro? Okay. So, which side do you want to? So as a defender, I'm coming over here to take a charge as he's coming in. And I end up getting straight and standing here. So his objective is to try to influence me to lean one way or the other. So he takes a long diagonal step and then steps across the face of the defender. So it is angle, angle, and they're both long, slow steps. Okay? They're both long, slow steps. Go ahead. Good. Yep. So again, let's do it. Let's everybody get out there and do a bunch. Okay? So start out at the wing. We'll all go on the same side, guys.
You can go. Well. Ooh. There you go. Nice. Yeah.
So
good.
one of the things for a coordination standpoint, we'll get kids to fake to the outside and then step across. And you could put cones out there at an angle, at each of the angles, to say, step towards this cone, step towards that cone. Okay, now, stop. So, Euro steps are done a variety of ways. So we've now just done, and this is what everybody's most comfortable with, and this is what I would teach first, the outside to inside angle. Well, now you also have to have, or you would like to be able to add to your repertoire, the inside to outside and a wrong-footed layup. Okay, so I go outside hand, outside foot layup. Got it? We wish you luck. Go. One at a time.
There you go.
Inside to outside. Yes, good. Right. And you can see the wheels are turning.
Sure. Yeah, whatever you want. One of the things I do with young kids to start is demo a normal layup, straight ahead. Then I put these out, or cones or water bottles. One there, one here, maybe a bit more. And then I ask them to step on them so they get that idea of going. And then first we do it without a ball so they just get the rhythm and they can do it. And it helps, so we just do this. Sometimes for warm-up, I put out like 4 or 5 of these, 6 of these, and we just go. Because that's kind of the rhythm of the, and it's good for strength. And then they learn the Euro that way, Euro layup. Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, so now, hold the ball, guys. Hold the basketballs. So now we put out, do you guys remember the X out yesterday? Do you remember that X out drill that we did? Yeah? Hold.
Two slides, the sprint.
Did you like it? Yeah. I really like this game. Call them games, don't call them drills. Okay? Don't say we're going to do that X out drill. Say we're going to play that X out game. Okay? They like games more. Okay, so this is the way it works. Defender is facing offensive player. Defender slides 2 steps and then sprints, and these things are important, sprints from the inside of this cone to the outside and plays defense. The offensive player dribbles as soon as they go past him, they're right on his tail, and they go from the inside to the outside. And their objective is no pull-ups, they've got to get a finish. So all these things that we just did can now come into play. Okay, and we call it one-on-one X-outs. Okay, go ahead, guys. Get there, get there, get there. Oh, fake spin,
nice.
Fake spin. Spin move.
It's going to be a good pro hop.
Good. Oh, here's the challenge. Ah, step, step. Stop, 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 stop.
That was awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah,
Couple
but
more.
I just want to say, last night the wheels were turning. Okay, what can I do on this? And initially what ended up happening was ball, come and guard, go around that cone, come and guard, get in front of me. And we're throwing stuff up. Now they're finding solutions to get to the basket and to create good finishes. Go ahead. Keep going, guys.
One of the things I was going to say is you don't have to teach all the finishes at once,
No.
right? Teach a finish, maybe challenge them
Get
with
there, get
2, and then they've got to try it
Oh,
with defense
love it.
because defense forces them to come up with the solution. On air is on
Hey.
air. You have to add a defense. This makes them have to do something.
Yes, that's awesome. Good job. Yeah. But remember, your practice. Good, fake spin.
Euro step.
Yep.
I don't think that's a travel now. It might not be a travel.
Pro.
Good.
Okay, stop.
Nice.
Stop. And obviously, coaches, we would always go from the other side. Okay, we'd change it up and go to the other side. Okay? Okay, now, these are some things that we have not done with the kids, but in actual fact, we have. We haven't talked about it this way. So now, what we're going to do now is, so that was finishing and combining finishing and post play together. So now what we're going to do is, I think we all know that if I feel a defender on this side and I catch a pass, as the ball is coming to me, I'm going to drop step, okay, as it's coming. Okay, so all that is a reverse pivot, and then I go and finish. Well, now I want to set it up off the dribble. Okay, I want to do the same thing off the dribble. So I catch the ball in the low post, okay, and I'm not getting crowded, I see space. I do a back down move to get to the midline of the floor, okay, and as I'm taking this last dribble, it is step and drop. So I go step, drop, finish, okay. Dribble, hard, and then I'm up, okay, into a shot, okay. We can go on both sides of the floor, okay, you can go on both sides and then just switch sides. So start on the block, here, dribble towards the midline, and then drop step on the side you're on. Okay, go ahead, guys.
No D. Yeah, no D. So we're just going to do this, and as we're pulling, drop. Drop. There you go. Yeah.
So this is that same action that we were doing on the spin. We pull the ball. We don't leave it there. We pull it so it's body, ball, defender. Or sorry, defender, body, ball.
You can put if you have, blocking pads or something, you can be out there bothering them a little bit.
So dribble and drop. So as I am taking that dribble, that foot is swinging back. Now stop for a sec. Stop, guys. Hold it.
Hold the balls. Yeah. Good job.
So what we want to do is, when we make this drop, I want to get onto the ball on my foot. Okay? I want to get to here so that I can pivot a little bit quicker. Okay? And now from this position, when I do this, I can always do that fake spin and come back to any shot. So we talked about with post players, they have to be able to combine front pivots, reverse pivots, and do combinations of those.
No challenge that every player has to do that.
Yeah.
But post players, yeah.
Yeah.
One thing is,
I should say when you're in the post.
yeah. One thing is, just by a show of hands, how many of you have some kind of offense that gets a perimeter player at some point cutting through the lane, maybe receiving the ball? Quite a few, yeah. So that's one thing I know, that players cut through there and then they get it and they have nothing. They have to have something. If we cut them through there, we better give them something to be able to finish. So they need some footwork to finish in there. Even I mean, I don't want the ball if I cut through there. Give it to someone else. But if I did get it, I would hope I'd have something to finish with.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is call that a reverse jump stop. So I'm coming into here and I'm driving. I go, oh, I don't like what's there. I take this dribble and I land on 2. And now, guys, this is what we do. 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, and go to a finish. But we want to now add a little bit of faking to this, to our footwork, where we go and we fake with our shoulders to get the defense to move. So I'm looking over that shoulder, I'm looking over that one, but my feet have not moved. I'm staying in that athletic position. I've got both feet as my pivot foot, so I can go over either shoulder, okay, and then finish. All right? Give it a try.
Yep. Any of your finishes now?
And that's the usual fake.
Okay.
But nobody asked about
Right. Yeah. Dribble in and then 2-foot hop.
So we would
Yeah,
spend a little bit of
dribble in.
time working on their shoulder shake. Ah, yes. Land on 2.
Oh, balance.
And hold the ball.
Good.
So just things that we would work on with them on this is be more dynamic going into your stop. So go and cover ground. Then your fakes have got to be, I don't want to say more violent, but more effective. Guys, this is kind of what a lot of you are doing. That's not getting anybody. So we got to open that shoulder, show the ball, open the shoulder, show the ball. So those are the things that we would add to that. And this is kind of the situation where you're going, and I'm starting to go, and I recognize I can't get to the hoop, okay, and both sides are maybe covered, so I just go, and I go to that stop, and I go, oh, I'm just going to kick it out. Or, all of a sudden, I see an opening on either side, and so I can make a move out of that, okay? But again, more than anything else, it's just good footwork. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, again, another post one, but this, at higher levels, is used on the perimeter when people are really pressuring, but more in the post. So I catch the ball in the post, and we have spin dribbles, a spin move. Well, I call this just a post spin. So what I'm going to do now is I'm looking to the inside. I'm trying to get to the midline, but I recognize the defense is there. And if you can see my foot, I'm already setting up on the ball on my foot. And from this position right here, I pivot, and I dribble, and I finish. And the bigger you are, maybe you can go to the other side if that's available. But I'm pivoting, and I'm getting my weight on my pivot foot, and I'm dropping this shoulder to the inside and finishing parallel to the backboard, parallel to the baseline. So we start off by spinning the ball to ourselves, land on, oh guys, spin it to yourself, land on 2, fake, and then spin. Okay, and finish on your own side and then go to the other side. So again, this is just a post spin.
Yep.
And the usual, initially they'll start doing a drop step.
So outside the paint, yeah. And facing more this way, yeah. There,
Yep,
spin.
good, Laura.
Yeah, that's it. Got it.
Chris, try to finish parallel to the backboard.
Good.
Ah. That was drop. Matt, that was a drop step. Pivot on that
Start out a
baseline
bit
foot.
further.
Okay.
So fake. And yeah, that's it. Good.
Okay, good. Hold the ball. Hold the ball. We'll just have 4 at that end, just 4 people. Offense and a defense. Offense and defense and just 4 people. You'll go 2 at a time. Okay, Allison started to do this with the young kids that she coaches. And started with those kids in grade 5. Okay? And call this one-on-one, no dribble. So what happens is, I spin the ball, you're guarding me, I spin the ball in the post, and I catch on 2. And now I have no dribble. And I got to find a solution. So right now, I can feel the solution is right there. Because I feel the weight that he's pressing on this side. Okay? So right away, I'm trying to get into fake. Oh, there. But I got to come up with some kind of solution to score without a dribble. Okay? Without a dribble. Now, I think you can see this is going to really work on footwork and balance. It is inevitable the kids are going to be off balance on this. But it is really, really good from a footwork standpoint. Okay, so we'll just have a couple of demonstrations.
Yep. So 2 guys go, and then the next 2 guys ready to go, and
somebody else, doesn't matter who.
yeah. So wait out of their way.
Oh, that's a tough one down there.
Good. Get off. Next 2. Scored.
That's a solution.
Guys,
turn and jump over him.
Hey, watch you travel.
He just starts with the ball.
Yeah, you can have the ball.
Oh,
No
I thought
dribble.
the rule was no dribble.
No dribble.
Oh,
You don't have a dribble. What I find
Okay, stop. No means 0. You can't dribble. Okay, now, you can see right now what they're doing is they're trying to score right away. And what we want is fake. Step. Oh, I don't have anything? Reverse pivot. Come back the other way. Do different things. You've got time in there. Okay? In fact, this is practice, so, I've never called it 3 seconds in the key in practice in my life. Okay? So, what we would encourage them to do is be patient. Try to work the defense and see if you can create something. Okay? You can imagine after a short period of time, they start to get the idea of, I got lots of time. See the defender, can I get them off their feet? Okay? And doing different things. Okay? I think it's a really, really good game, and it's really good for young kids. And again, I would be doing this with these guys.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when we started doing it in grade 5 with our girls, they didn't really understand that you could fake after you've stopped. Like, this stuff they kind of know, shot fakes, jab fakes, we taught them to skip, but they start to get, now we've got kids that are pretty savvy. They're grade 9 now, so they're pretty savvy, but it took a while, and I think a lot of that had to do with them being able to score inside, a little bit of footwork, and that's from everybody, from our little ones to our taller kids all did it. And then we do it with 1 dribble. We don't need to show that.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do it with everybody. Come across to this side, line up on the sideline. Quickly, let's go, guys. Okay, put your ball down. Okay, it's a race. Okay, you're going as fast as you can to this sideline. Okay, to the volleyball sideline. So spread yourselves out. Don't cheat. Get behind the red line.
Both feet.
Okay, now, here's the rule, though. You must start in a square stance. Okay, right.
Both toes on the red line. Hold
Okay.
on. Don't go.
Watch their feet. Okay, watch their feet.
Danger.
Yeah, the volleyball line. Go!
Woo.
So
Sorry, you'll
everybody
catch
sees
'em later.
the plyo step happening. Okay, so what ends up happening is the moment that I need to go in that direction there, I'm here. Oh, I got to go that way. There's going to be the step going behind.
Watch one more time. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's important to
Square
see.
feet. Okay, so now you're just volleyball line to volleyball line. What kind of stance is that down there?
Should be
Okay,
a
get
bit in
ready.
your squat.
Just be in your squat. You don't know which way you're going. Well, you do now, but go. Okay. So,
Help your teammates up. Help them up.
Adam, can you edit that out?
Pick them up. They can handle it. They got
Yeah.
it.
So,
No one's
we
hurt.
want to take that plyo step into dribbles. Okay, we want to be able to use that. So I can do a skip and go, where I again drop that foot back like we were doing on the catch. But if I'm dribbling, I can and change pace. I can do it out of a gallop and go. Okay. I can do it just on a hesitation where a defender is now in front of me and I go to the side and get that defender out of my path. Okay, so we want to use that all the time when we're dribbling. Okay, so guys, here's what we do. Grab your basketballs, line up at center. Allison will be at that end, I'll be at this end. Stutter, Coach Bob. Okay, so line up at mid-court facing me. You guys at that end go mid-court sideline there.
We'll go right sideline, right at the corner.
Good. Okay, now listen for your instructions. You
guys
are going to dribble hard at the coach. We're going to put up one arm or the other, and you have to go to that side. But when you're coming in and you start to get closer to the coach, and close I mean 6 feet away, and you're coming with speed, you get into stutter steps. And then you've got to react. So if the ball's in your right hand and this hand goes up, you got to go that way, so you got to cross over. You got to go behind your back. I don't know, but you got to change sides and go by the defender on that side. So stutter step and do it with speed, okay? Yeah, what other hand you go opposite? You go opposite. Don't run into my hand. Okay, go.
This is going to be tough.
Good.
Ooh, okay, I got to hold it higher. Yep, stutter step, cross. No, go
That was
opposite.
kind of a fake.
Go opposite,
Opposite.
opposite.
Opposite. Stutter.
Go opposite.
Good. Okay, stop. Stop.
I'm
Good.
like, I know because a lot of people do that to go under the arm,
Yeah.
but we don't want to program, so we actually have them go opposite, or I would get taken out.
So, if you can see, I'm not sure if you can necessarily see it from the angle, but what's happening is, as they're coming in, because they're in preparation for going at an angle, they stutter step and their feet get wider. So now, if I want to go that way, this foot has to be outside this knee. This knee has to be outside outside the hip. Okay, I have to be in that position to go. I can't change direction from here. Okay, I have to be here. So as they're coming in, with no instruction, they're just going, I'm not sure which way I'm going, and I get into that position. Okay, and I do that stutter step and go. And this, I think, starts to improve athleticism from the standpoint of the feet have to get going, but then I've got to be ready to push either way. Okay, and so there's a really good, especially it's really, really good if you're bilingual. Okay, I don't speak French and I don't understand French, but there's a site called Coach Bob Basketball. It's a French site, and I have stolen so much stuff from there. Okay, it's really, really good, and I mean this is incredibly basic. Okay, but I think it's very good stuff because it starts to get the kids to go into that position there, which is what we want to see.
Mike?
Yes.
Can I add? So also this builds up, I use this a lot with young kids, it builds up to one-on-one, two-on-one, like he has a whole series of
Yeah.
how you can build it up. So they'd come three in a line, and I put up a hand, they go opposite, the other one goes opposite, offense, defense, and then offense again. And so they have to read each other, which starts to get them just thinking of the awareness of the other people around them. If the offense goes that way, the dribbler, I have to go that way to get spacing. So he's got a really good series kind of leads up.
Yeah.
We won't do all that. but-
No, we won't do all that. I mean, 2 hours is nowhere near enough time.
I told him that.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
said,
so
"You're way too much."
So now we're going to go straight to this game. So we did yesterday with the guys, we did skip hesitation, right? We did the hesitation. So we skip And out of that dribble, as we're dribbling, we're making a decision if I'm going to go or not. Okay, I can go and stop, or I can go. Okay, it's all based on the reading. So, come and guard me. So he's on the side of me right now, on the side of me, but you face, yeah. And I'm going this way right here. So what I do is I skip and I go, or I skip and I stop. Okay, in that, and we would do this going across the floor just a couple times. And I'll tell you what, you know, these guys are pretty good because they're pretty good athletes. How many are phys ed teachers?
Oh, not too many.
It's stunning how many kids nowadays don't skip. Okay,
Can't
it's a
skip.
fundamental movement pattern that many kids don't have anymore. So here's, pair up with somebody, get one ball between the two of you, and come to this, go to that sideline. Go to that sideline. Quick, quick. That's sideline. That's sideline.
So I like to name everything, so we just call this Stay with the Dribbler.
Okay?
And young kids love
Guard
it.
me.
Older kids love it. Spread all the way down. Need
Okay,
space.
so I'm going to do it with my right hand because I have no left hand.
No, because in a ball-bodied defender, make sure they're lined up that way.
Yeah. Okay, so your objective is to stay even with me, okay? Don't let me get to here, okay? Don't be there when I'm here. Try to stay even with me. We're going to go to that sideline, but it's not a race. My whole objective is I don't want you to be with me, okay? I mean, we have 15 minutes. I'll get there faster than that, but we're going to go to that side. Talk about Nash.
Yeah. So there's a great quote. Steve Nash had a great quote, and I loved it. Everybody that will hear it will love it. He said, "When I am moving, my defender is stopped. And when I am stopped, my defender is moving." I'm like, well, that's basically saying you're unguardable. But it's just so true. And kids play at one pace, and their solution is always to go faster. And we have to teach them to stop and to see. And it's kind of fun because you get to test yourself. Can you get separation? Can you lose them? It's like tag.
So, guys, when you do this offensively, try not to face the defender that you're playing against.
You're just running.
Try to face this side. Okay, so again, you're trying to stay even with me. Okay, ready? No, stay even with me. Okay.
It's pretty quick.
Good, very good job.
I don't
Very
mean my
good.
husband. I mean.
Okay. Okay,
All right.
try it. Stay with the dribbler. Stop, stop, stop. Stop. Hold it, hold it. Hold it. Ball, body, yes. You lost the ball because of that. Okay, fundamental of dribbling.
Come back.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going. Yeah, switch. Yep.
Stop. I like it. Oh, full on stops.
Stay with the dribbler. Good, Matt. Out of the way. Good. Okay, stop. So what I would say to them is, as they do that a little bit and start to get the idea of stopping, starting, then I would say, don't do it quite as much. Okay? Make 2 or 3 changes of pace coming across the width of the floor, not 5 or 6. Make it more game-like than that. You're not going to do this a heck of a lot of time, but I think it's enjoyable for the kids to do it, but it's also a very, very important skill to learn, to be able to stop and start and understand where that defender is on you. Okay?
Well, it's like a game, and they like it, and you have a visual. Did I get separation? One of the things I think is, when I've done it with some older kids, so they'll do this, stop, and if the guy doesn't come back, they'll be like you got to be even with me. So that's also something they start to be a little bit like, hey, that's how the game's played, and they take ownership of the rules, and I like that. It's good stuff.
Okay. We'll do, that's too much. So let's do the crossover jab.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Again, this is something, they're actually, the grade 5, 6 boys that I worked with last year, and it's not like I worked with them a lot. I worked with them for 8 sessions.
No, but for the last 3 years, 8 sessions, 10 sessions.
But this is one of the dribble moves that we showed them. And we basically make, as a general rule, break dribble moves into attacking a retreating defender and trying to create separation. So that hesitation, we're trying to create separation. Now we're trying to attack a retreating defender. So guys, remember yesterday we did the crossover jab? Okay, so the crossover jab, and there's, I don't know if Dan's here, Houdini.
He called it Houdini.
That's what he called it. The site that he looked at didn't have a name, so hey, Houdini, I like it. So what this is now is, defender is retreating, I simply cross the ball over without changing my body position. I keep going straight. I change, and then all I do is I jab to the side, and I go. So the way we would teach it is just getting this idea.
And step.
So I add that step to it. I always get that feedback. Okay? I cross it over, I jab, and I step. And we would just have the players moving around the floor doing that, and then starting to go a little bit faster. So go ahead, guys. We showed it to them last night. A couple of them already did it.
Yeah, good. Nice. We got the rhythm.
Yep.
That's one
Do
you
a little
can
faster,
use.
Chris.
You can use that.
Do it faster.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Good. Yeah.
So you can see some of them right now are still, as they cross over, they lean their body that way. No. Keep your body straight. Okay, and stop. Worked with a young girl for a number of years, and this is her favorite thing. And again, I'll say it at the end, but I think it's a pretty effective thing, but the one thing that I really like about it for young kids is it helps their coordination. Okay? Body parts are going different directions. Okay? Ball goes this way, well, I should go that way. And now the foot's going that way? Whoa. So when they initially start doing it, this foot starts to go, but eventually it starts to come. And again, I think it's great for coordination. Okay?
So it would be a dribble move that you would use, come on, can you come down and kind of down full court? So he's coming up the court, because I like you in the alley, go in the alley a bit more. And there's a retreating defender, right? So you're coming full speed, yep, coming, and I'm retreating. Okay, now is not the time to, yeah, oh, good, that was good. Now is not the time to swing the ball out here, slow down, I'm retreating. I cannot possibly guard someone making a quick move. So crossover jab, inside out, we call it a roll crossover over the top. They've got to have something that they can tack. And what I say to the kids all the time, we're teaching this, not every move is for everybody.
Everybody else go and sit.
You have to figure out your package, what works for your toolbox.
Good. Okay, we're going to finish off with one last thing. I apologize for not being able to get through everything. I figured that was going to happen. But what we're going to do now is just a little bit of defensive stuff. A very little bit. Okay, so here's the game. It is one-on-one with a hip turn. Now, a hip turn is simply this. I am changing my position of my feet because I am in desperate situation to recover. So she's going that way. I need to turn my hips. This swing step, if you teach it, I honestly don't believe it happens very much in a game. If you really broke down film and watched, what you're going to see is if I do this and pivot and turn that foot, first off, it's friction. And friction is slower than getting in the air. Second thing is, it's dangerous to turn this way with that foot if that foot gets stuck. Okay? This is a very bad position to be able to go that way from. There's where I need to be, with the toe pointed forward, the knee over my toe, and my angles at the hips. This gives me power. That gives me some force. So I can go from this hip turn to a crossover, or go to a hip turn to a slide if I need to. Okay, so again, I can go from this position here quickly and turn, and honestly, this is what happens. You don't have to teach it to your players, they'll do it. They just may not do it really well yet. So from that position to there, and now I have to make a decision based on where am I against this offensive player? Do I have to cross over, or am I in good enough position to go into a slide? Most of the time it's going to have to be hip turn, cross, and maybe get down to stance. So here's how we play the game. Come on up here.
Now you're up.
Yep. One ball. Come right here. You're on offense right here at the wing. You're in a defensive disadvantage facing right there, okay? You are only going that way, and your objective is get to the basket. You have to get your toes perfectly square, so be perfectly square. So bring that right, yeah, there you go. So you start in that position. So the defense is below, but they're at a real disadvantage. Okay, so your objective is get to the hoop.
He did it naturally.
Pretty good. Okay, pretty good. Switch it around. Go from offense to defense.
Totally
be perfectly square. Yep. Good. Well done. So what we're doing is we're forcing them basically to use the hip turn, the crossover, and then they got to make a decision. Am I going to get in front? So if you go, I want to try to get them to really get an advantage or to have a chance to recover, start them a little further away. Just start them the same situation, but a little bit further away from the basket. Okay? So we just call that hip turn one-on-one. And the crossover step, what we want is, you don't want to get into a crossover. But good luck staying with somebody that's running with the ball doing this. It's not going to happen. So we have to be able to cross over. And what we want in an ideal situation is crossing over with our legs, but keeping our torso square. That's the ideal that we'd like to be in. If I go, oh my gosh, I'm getting beat, I need to be there and get into a straight run. Okay? And then I have to have the ability to be able to stop again. Okay? So again, that's one-on-one with a hip turn. And we used to do that a fair amount. Even with the national team, we did that. Okay? Just to re-emphasize that hip turn, the speed of the hip turn. And I would encourage you, if you're watching any games the next little while, watch the feet. Watch what they do defensively. I think you're going to be surprised at how many times you're going to see the repositioning of that foot to get into that position so they can push and go that way or reverse, go the other way.
I was going to add too, I know that I was taught a swing step, right? Shuffle, shuffle, swing step. It's so slow, it's unnatural, and I taught it for years because that's what I was taught. And I didn't teach the plyo step. I tried to teach kids out of it till I realized my best athletes weren't doing it. So we can learn a lot from our athletes and what they're doing. So watch their footwork. A lot of that came because we heard other people, but also we watched their athletes. And one thing I'll say too, we talked about defensive stance. Like people talk about, you can't move from here. You hear people get as wide as you can. Well, I can't even move. So if you watch tennis, and tennis has really gone to a more upright, like if you watch them, and that's the way we should be guarding. We're down, but we're not down here. Like, that's ridiculous. You can't guard from there, right? So you can hit the floor, but then get up where you can guard. Play with some bounce. And if you want to read or see more about that, and I think, has Brian McCormick been here? Yeah. So Brian McCormick, hip turn. You'll find some stuff. He's got some video up, and he explains it. And I mean, I'm convinced, but some people are still not convinced, and I think you have to watch your athletes or watch athletes. Yeah. Okay. To be convinced.
Okay, if we can, just leave you with a couple of thoughts. I was driving home one day when I was working and listening to sports talk radio. And I was listening to interviews with kids that were going to be drafted, and they were all going to be first-round draft choices in the NHL. And they were being interviewed, and at some time the interviewer asked them, why do you think you got to this level?
What helped you get there?
And they all said, at one time during the interview, I had a coach who believed in me. He thought I could be pretty good. I don't think there's anything more important for a coach to believe in the players. Okay? You have to challenge them, and when you challenge them, I think you're saying, you can do this. I believe you can do this. Okay? I'm not giving you something that I don't think you can do. I think you can do this. So I think it's important all the time. For some of these guys, some of these things were challenges. Okay? But they can all do it. They may not get it now. Okay? But it's a marathon and not a sprint. So I think down the road they may get it. Okay? I think they will get it. Okay? So that's one thought. The other thing that I want to leave you with is, and I heard this when I was teaching years ago, and I'd like to say that I always did it, but I don't think I necessarily did. Kids won't always remember what you say, but they will always remember how you make them feel. These are our most important commodity. Treat them with kid gloves, but challenge them and push them to reach their potential. Okay? So I really encourage you to, I was never a real yeller and screamer, but I was a talker. I talked the whole time. But I really believe that people that are constantly yelling and screaming at their kids are doing two things. I think they're starting to create a mentality that he doesn't think I'm very good or she doesn't think I'm very good. And it may not always be the case because off the court you may be a completely different person. But a lot of time they can't take that from the court to off the court. So I would say treat them with kid gloves, push them, okay? Push them to be the best that they can be and don't really accept anything less. We used to always talk about our players to appeal, we used to always appeal their sense of pride. Is that the best you can do? I think you can do more than that. Okay?
Yeah, and I think it's especially important with younger kids, and like Mike said, depending on how you've developed your relationship, you can be harsher sometimes with some kids because they can handle it. But I remember one time I had called my dad because who's 85, I'm still calling for advice, but I had called my dad because I had seen just an atrocious thing at a youth basketball game, and it really upset me, and I called, and my dad said, that's just a shame because, kids that age, they really haven't developed their armor yet. I'm like, still coming up with the good wisdom, right? But they haven't developed their armor. Like right now, probably, after being one of the only female coaches in the entire world at the Olympics, I got pretty thick skin. I didn't start that way, right? Things were like, I'm hurt by that. So I think we can get tougher as they get, and even language can get a bit tougher, but that's not good enough, and I think you have to be careful with kids. We want them to stay in our sport, but we want to challenge them and push them. And good enough is not good enough, right? We have to work to be better. And I do want to say one thing, though, just a minute because we're off our time. When the two most influential people in my life were my mom and dad, but the second only to my high school coach and my grade 5 coach, Mr. Carlson, Mr. Kupke, my mom and dad. And they meant so much to me. And I spent more time with my high school coach in grade 11 and 12 because I did not live in the town. I lived there, but my parents lived somewhere else. I went somewhere to play basketball. And so I was with him more than my parents. Great influence on my life. He passed away 2 years ago, and almost our entire basketball community was back. And Salmon Arm, BC is where I went to high school. It was a good basketball community. And you can be a huge influence on kids. They don't always tell you how much you've meant to them, but you can be. So I just admire high school coaches, junior high coaches that are giving back to kids for nothing because they don't pay in this country. Costs you money to coach. So I appreciate just what you do because it was so important in my life. And that's what keeps me, I think, coaching because I still feel like I haven't given back enough compared to what I got. So thank you for what you do. And thanks.
Can we, just before we go, can we thank the guys?
Yes. Awesome.
It's a very long day for them. And Adam, thank you very much. And what we'll do is, I talked about those Euro starts. Okay? If you want to see it, we can put it up right now.
Or after.
Oh, okay. If you want anything, I'm retired. I got lots of time. I'm more than happy to send people stuff, put it in a Dropbox. So my email address is coachmmcneil@yahoo.ca. Okay?
So Coach MMCNEILL @yahoo.ca. And he says he's lots of time, but he's on the golf course 6 days a week.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.